There's been a lot of info about Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Reimagined coming from people that are digging in the code. Shall we call them Dougs? Get it? Dig Doug? No? Okay, just wanted to throw my middle name into a commentary for the Call of Duty news of the week. But first, there was a patch released to Infinite Warfare bringing features that should have been in the day 1 patch instead of the day 101 patch, like combat records, lobby party indicators, and even custom emblems. No wait, never mind, that was a false flag like Sandy Hook. However, there was an additional new feature put into the patch letting players know what the team balance will be before the lobby countdown timer goes to 0. This way, if you're up against people that have more sweat than Gandhi's flip-flop, you can make like YouTube Red did to PewDiePie and back out before the match begins. This way, it won't affect the KD of lobby surfers. Hang 10, bro. Other fixes include tweaks to Drop Zone, which has now been replaced by Mayhem Mode anyways, where Scorestreaks don't reset upon death. So now my Blind Eye infomercial video from back in the Black Ops 2 days should completely sell out. Shout out if you've ever seen that video. If not, I'll throw the link down in the description. In other game mode news, Infected Endgun game will now allow player customization so that you can play dress up while shooting other robot-like creatures in the face. There was a nerf to the Vulture speed, acceleration, and damage, thus making the only score streak before the Warden that wasn't useless now as powerful as Superman covered with kryptonite. The tracker perk was also fixed, and now here players boost jumping that have the Dead Silence perk equipped, which is the opposite of what Dead Silence would actually imply. And there are also plenty of fixes for watching esports matches from MLG TV, never mind the fact that MLG TV is the MySpace equivalent of a streaming website. Oh, and of course, since Infinity Ward can't fix anything without breaking something else, the announcer no longer indicates when score streaks become active, which is a joy to get shot out of nowhere! That's a bug that'll probably get hotfixed in next week sometime. Now onto the hidden secrets of the code, of which one has already come true with the announcement of the Mach 2 weapon bribes through Tuesday, February 21st, with 400 Call of Duty points or 60 keys, which guarantees one rare or better Mach 2 weapon. There's additional bribe icons shown here, including guaranteed epic, legendary, salvage, weapon, different rig customizations, a generic head, a score streak variant, more on those later, gun accessory, and individual weapon class camos. These are probably limited time offers which will happen at some point down the line, costing more points or keys for guarantees. Now, about those score streak variants. In a previous Call of Duty news video, I briefly mentioned the different flavors of score streaks, kind of like in Advanced Warfare, how you could modify a score streak. One of those minor 49ers dug up the icons which will be from the supply drops which you can earn. There are rare, blue, legendary purple, and epic orange type of score streaks. I'm not going to go through the individual stats on each of these, but the different types of score streaks which will get variants are the UAV, Scarab, Scorchers, and the Warden. Unlike the weapons, which almost exclusively have benefits without any detriments to balance it out, these score streak variants have some positives like increased duration and some negatives which might be a higher score cost. The fact that there's icons now in the code point to the fact that this is definitely happening due to the progress on it. Just like a Billy Mays commercial, but wait, there's more. In fact, there are new weapon variants which were introduced in the last patch, but I guess there wasn't a Quartermaster update video to go along with it because Call of Duty decided it didn't want to look at yet another video with a dislike bar longer than Ron Jeremy's cock. There's also some new epic weapons which don't look like they match any of the weapons in the current game. The first of which I alluded to in a previous Call of Duty news video is the axe. Not a surprise given how melee weapons went over in Black Ops 3, turning an FPS into a fighting game. There's another weapon which we don't know much about, but it looks like a cross between an FHR and a Type 2, as it looks like the FHR SMG that you could pull apart into pistols, especially shown here on the Sabotage DLC map Neon, which could mean that this was originally part of the DLC, but since Activision is spelled with a $sign, they locked it behind a paywall. The other item is actually something that has a name. It's called the Maverick, a throwback to Infinity Ward's last iteration DLC weapon from Ghost, but this time it looks like a machine pistol. There's actually footage of this weapon from a YouTuber called Skyroz, who briefly shows it off in a Rave in the Redwoods video from the day before the DLC came out, so he must have been invited out to an event in order to capture the footage. We know the name of the weapon only because it appears in the text under the weapon wheel, and there are epic variants like the Ripper, which have a name change from the original RPR, and considering it has 14 rounds like the EMC, could this be an epic variant of that handgun? It doesn't really look that much like the EMC, which has me troubled like Taylor Swift. Speaking of new weapons, there was also some news out of Modern Warfare Reimagined's data miners that the MAC-10 SMG, which has only been in the original Black Ops game, is showing up unannounced like an Irish relative. They've gone so far as to even add an inspection animation, shown here, so this will most likely be the next weapon in a supply drop for Modern Warfare Warfare Reimagined. Come on, Raven, go full Call of Duty Online with this game, and maybe I'll think of purchasing it. That's not all that was found in the game files, is now that there are pictures for some attachments, including the Hollow Sight, Master Key Underbarrel Shotgun, and Reflex Sight, along with no image, just code for a Thermal Sight. The Thermal Sight can be potentially game-breaking as there's no current counter to it unless one of the perks is configured to block such an attachment, and you thought in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 Thermal LMG was bad. And finally, in microtransaction news, which is sad that most of these videos comprise of shit that makes Call of Duty more money by alienating more people, the code BRASS Personalization Pack for Modern Warfare Remastered is now available for $4.99, with the proceeds going to the Call of Duty Endowment Fund. Can I just donate the $5 and let someone else make their gun look like a candy cane that was removed from someone's asshole that did a holiday-themed chatterbait session? Anyways, that's going to do it for the Call of Duty News of the Week. I've been the Schwantz27, out like Michelle Terrien. Until next time.